This is a line-of-sight system for Godot
that takes lighting into account. It's an updated version of something I shared maybe a month ago or something like that, following some feedback from the Galway Game Devs meetup. It's inspired by something I did over 9 years ago, nearly a decade ago in Unity, which in turn was inspired by, if I remember correctly, the line-of-sight system from Thief and Thief 2. The way it works is both line-of-sight and lighting use detection areas and raycasts to check if they can see something. So I'm going to go into the line-of-sight stuff here first, because that's the core of this. You can actually do this without the lighting. At its core, line of sight is basically just a detection area with a raycast and a timer. The timer basically configures how often this works. Like by default, every half a second. You can change that. Whether or not it should. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing there. My bad. Derp. So yeah, line of sight is a raycast to check if there's something between it and what it's actually looking at. Again, there's nothing that's particularly special there. I think the unique thing is that it'll take lighting into account. Now, you can see over here this min light level. If there's a certain level of light in the scene, that's how intense the lighting has to be at a point before it'll spot something. You can basically disable that by setting this to 0 or all the way up to 1. Don't know why you would choose that, but it's there if you want it. And an investigation threshold, which is the point at which this line of sight's brain will start investigating. And then it works on a cycle timer, so instead of constantly be checking over and over, it's spread out over every half a second, 0.1 of a second, up to 2 seconds. But by default it's every half second, so you can figure that as you need it. And yeah, for the sake of testing, I've set this down to 0 for the investigation threshold, detection increment to 5, and cycle time to every quarter second. Just for the sake of demos, you can change this as you want. As for lighting, it works in more or less the same way. It's basically an area with a raycast and a timer. Now, there is some subtle differences between the two types of lighting I'm considering here. Omni lights, or what Unity used to call point lights, the intensity they add is inversely proportional to the distance. Like if you stand right out here at the edge of the area, which I'm just marking with these spheres and these glowing yellow spheres and cylinders and whatever, it's going to add less light than, say, if you're standing right up here. It's kind of an abstraction for lighting, like it doesn't take bounce lighting into account, but that's just a can of worms I don't really want to look at. Spotlights don't have any distance fall off. Like you stand in this area, you're going to get spotted by this stationary street light or the NPC's torch here. Again, this should probably be fairly intuitive to grasp. Now, there is also another thing with light radius, this account for cover. As it stands, this light here will actually care if you're standing behind this wall here or in front. Here it won't be able to see you, here it will. Again, it does make sense. The reason I added it is for, say, this stationary light over here. Let's just say this is a street light that points straight down. No cover whatsoever. It's more of a performance thing. You can basically just turn off this thing here and it will not bother casting a ray. Not mandatory, but useful to have. In comparison, this light over here will account for cover because, well, it's inside line of sight. It should account for that sort of thing. And the final part of this is, wrong thing, sorry, these shade areas. Like these are literally just an area you walk into and it unchecks a flag in any class that implements this, where was it? That implements a particular interface. In this case, I'm going to be standing out in the sun here, whereas if I stand here in the shade, the sun does nothing. What that basically does is, as soon as that flag is toggled, if it's set to on, it'll start accounting for this, for the intensity of the sun, otherwise it won't. Now by default, is in shade is off, so it accounts for sun by default. I may as well just show you this now. As you can see in the top right corner, there's just a little something to show if things are actually turned on. I'll come back to that in a moment. Now I'm standing in the shade. You can see the little slider in the left hand corner. That's just my light meter, for want of a better term. Now we can start seeing me. Or should. There's always something that goes wrong when I test this. As you can see, light intensity increases to max up here. Drops off as soon as I step outside the area. Light intensity does nothing here because it can't see me. Now it's going to start increasing as I get closer. Stand in the shade again. Again, I've got a little bit of lighting from that, so until I stand a little further away. And if I just walk away for a bit, things have stopped. They're no longer active because I'm outside of they're outside the toggle radius area. And now they're coming back in. That's really just a performance thing to try and turn them off when they're far away. So yeah, this toggle radius or radius toggler, it's literally just an area under the player, the sphere collider. This one is ludicrously small because it's a very small map. You can increase this as you desire. 100 meters is probably a bit small, but a bit large. It really depends on the size of the map you're doing. So this is a 3D only thing. I'm not looking to do 2D for a while, if ever. And it is written in C# rather than GD script because I have no familiarity with GD script. Apparently you can mix and match them in the same project, but I haven't tried that yet. So yeah, this is something I am considering selling because it might be useful to other people. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Bye for now.